Welcome to Metrocasting. I'm Doug Farley, and today we're at Burvon Park in Berwick. Since it's so nice out, we thought we'd take it outside for a little bit. On this episode, we're going to do a little bar hopping, and we're going to check out one local guy's attempts to change the way trivia is played and presented. Local bars and restaurants are constantly looking for new ways to bring patrons into their establishments. Recently, we stumbled upon an act, an R-rated act, that not only had people coming in droves, but also had people rolling in the aisles with laughter, all while learning a few things and maybe winning some cold, hard cash. A slight warning, though, before we begin: although the language and the subject matter in this upcoming segment have been toned down quite a bit, portions of the material presented may be considered offensive to some. Viewer discretion is advised.
Metrocast Channel 10 is in the house tonight. They're filming this thing. They want to know what happens at tax trivia. Yeah, so you're warned. If you got any outstanding arrest warrants, I get the right now.
Meet Quizzo Fred, a guy we met St. Paddy's Day weekend who's been revolutionizing the local quiz night experience by adding a big dose of comedy.
My grandfather was Irish, my grandmother was Jewish. I'm half Jewish, half Irish. That makes me a drunk looking for a nickel beer. That's what it does.
Quizzo Fred, whose real name is Fred Lamoureux, has been working trivia nights at various bars in the Bloomsburg, Berwick, and surrounding areas for about 10 years now, and has amassed a pretty good-sized following.
I almost didn't show up tonight. I was invited to a party at a horse barn over in Maineville. It seemed interesting.
We caught up with Quizzo Fred at Taps Sports Bar and Grill along Route 11 in the Berwick area, where he explained how his version of the trivia night experience got started.
I got out of the Air Force in '96, bounced around to a couple jobs, and then walked into a place called Romig's Cafe in Bloomsburg. And I befriended the owner, Ron Romig, still my base camp for trivia on Monday nights. And he had already had something called Quizzo that was being run by two girls were doing it, two college girls. So the clientele was college people, so it was kind of raucous, but it was just questions. They would ask a question and then it would be quiet, and then a question would be quiet. I think they paid a couple bucks a piece, and the winning team got the money, much like what I do. As I befriended Ron, he told me about Quizzo on a Monday night, so I went to it in just my love of trivia, and I watched it and liked it. I'm still the last person to win it all by myself, I'm proud to say. And when the two kids graduated, he said, "Are you interested in trying it?" I said, "Sure." So I did one of it like they did, where it was quiet, and it was still a good crowd, real good crowd. And I looked around and I just thought, you know, there's got to be more to this. So we sat down, I said, "What do you think of this? What do you think of some music, some comedy, some in-between round giveaways? Let's get the people proactive. Let's get them involved in the show. Let's make them part of the show." And he said, "I'll try anything." That was his exact words, "I'll try anything." And that was about 10 years ago and 460 shows ago, just at that venue.
He says his show caught on quickly.
It rolled at Romig's Cafe right off the bat. When other venues started to ask me to do it, the first thing I did was check with him to make sure that it would be okay if I went out there. We figured it'd be good for the business there. So I started everywhere but Bloomsburg. I will do it anywhere but Bloomsburg. That's my home base. So as other smaller towns caught my act somewhere, or saw my cousin Mike, nephew. I always say cousin. I'm from Benton. The family tree goes straight up. You don't know who you're related to. My nephew Mike was Top Gun Sound, and that side of it was his DJ business, which was already a very successful DJ business. I called him up and said, "Let's combine our talents. Let me talk if you can put up with my voice, if I can put up with your rap music. Let's get together." So from there, we shot out to different venues as a DJ act, and then the weddings came. You know, we did probably 10 weddings last year, so that business caught everybody's eye. But mostly I get a call for the trivia shows because they just seem to want something a little different.
I'm starting off easy in round one. I think it's easy. Round one, question number one. In what decade of the 1900s did the advice column Dear Abby first appear in newspapers? I only need the decade.
Last year, Fred performed over 200 different trivia-type programs, with no two shows being the same.
Yeah, every show is different. Every venue that I go to, I do Mondays at Romig's Cafe, Thursdays I'm at Unityville, out at Taylor's Bar and Grill, and Light Street, Hotel in Light Street, Pennsylvania once a month, here once a month. I'll head to Sunbury. I'll always change the questions because I have people that go to every single show, believe it or not. I have a ton of books. I mean, I must have I've got to have 500 books now that center somewhere around trivia. I do use a few vague internet sites. If they get too popular, I pop off of that. The only thing I stay away from is television, just because I think so many people could be watching the same show. I don't take anything from television, but I've gotten questions from placemats in restaurants. I've gotten wherever I look, it seems like I see trivia, to be honest with you. But you know, it's been almost 30,000 questions. I've done 460 at the venue in Bloomsburg and another 100 somewhere else. That's 560 plus whatever I'm asking between rounds. I figure I went to just about 30,000 questions, and we've given away about probably $150,000 in cash over the years.
Round one, question number 7, from the famous movie. How many digits? I'm going to say digits because I don't want to care about thumbs or fingers. How many digits does E.T., the extraterrestrial, have on each hand from the famous movie?
Because of his less traditional style of asking a question, Fred is in great demand.
Quizzo's great for business. He's been in the Bloomsburg area, as far as I know, for the greater part of 10 years. He had never been to a Berwick bar before, so I thought it'd be a good idea to bring him here, see how he would go over with the Berwick community. And so far, he's been received really well. We do a really nice business when he's here, and he does a great job.
Jill says business doubles whenever Quizzo Fred is at Taps.
He's a great guy. He's fantastic. He breaks it up really well. It's kind of like a mix of trivia / stand-up comedy / DJ. So he does everything. He makes people laugh. He brings a lot of people in. He's just a really funny guy. So if you want to go somewhere to laugh and have a good time, come out when Quizzo Fred is here.
Let me look in there. It's true what they say. There's people sitting on their couch in their underwear. How you doing, everybody? Come to Taps. You'll have some fun.
We took the opportunity to ask some of the patrons at Taps what they thought made Fred so appealing.
It's an addiction. It's fun to answer the questions and try to win money.
Oh, you just never know what's going to come out. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. It's always funny.
His jokes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely his
jokes.
Yep. His personality.
Yep.
He gets everybody going. He keeps it fun.
What battle in American history was the origin of the famous line, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes"? None of you have white eyes. I'm looking at everybody up here. They're all pink for Christ's sake. You guys would have never been shot.
I have a reasonable blueprint in my head about what I'd like to do tonight. The questions are already written. It'll be 4 rounds of 10 questions. Whichever team gets the most points. After the 4th round, we'll get 100% of the money that we collect, which is $5 per person to play. The rest of it's going to be pretty spontaneous.
Welcome, sir. Nice to see you. You look like you just got off your Harley. Is that right or not? Are you one of the Hells Angels, sir? Your beard could point me right in the eye, I'll be honest with you. Hey, join a team, but pay your $5, ponytail boy, or I will kick you right in the...
I got some contests that I have in mind between rounds. Some of it will be whether or not the crowd participates like I want them to. I'd like a couples game tonight where a gentleman will bring up a lady and they'll have to get 2 out of 3 questions about each other, which, you know, we can run the gamut on those. I'm not saying it doesn't get a little vulgar sometimes, but everybody has a good time. But a lot of spontaneity in there, and that's what I like. I seem to have a lot of fun playing off of people as they approach me. But you got to get them to approach the table, and you do that with giveaways and contests and things between the rounds. Plus, my assistant Diane then has time to score everything, and you know, it just runs that way. It takes about 3 hours.
Speaking of his assistant, we wondered why he refers to her as the lawn dart.
Y'all remember the lawn dart, my assistant? She works for applause. Give it up for her, seriously. I don't like that she's getting bigger than me. I don't like that, yeah. And I don't mean weight-wise, let's face it. I don't mean weight-wise. Question number 4.
Yes, my assistant is about 85 pounds soaking wet, I think. She can tread water in a garden hose. I've told her that several times. So I just one night called her the lawn dart. So she's built like a lawn dart, I think I said. And then somebody gave us a lawn dart, so we presented that to her a couple times. She plays off it that she's skinny, but she's a pretty lady that a lot of people like to have some fun with. So she's a pretty easy target. Everybody's a pretty easy target once I fire the microphone up.
Quizzo Fred, a very funny and very interesting kind of guy. Now, to inquire about his trivia services, as he is available for weddings and for fundraisers and other events. By the way, he does tone it down for those engagements as required. He says you need to contact one of his local regular establishments that he plays at, such as Taps in Berwick or Romig's in Bloomsburg, and they will get you in touch with him. You can also try Top Gun Sound at myspace.com.